Thank you for joining me today. This is David with DeMarco Gaming, and today we're going to be going over PrimeHoover's QuestBook demo. So this is going to be for the 2.0 version. This is for people who are just starting to use the plugin. Anybody who's already started using the previous plugin, the 1.3 or below, continue to use that one because the new one actually would require that you rewrite every quest that you've already done. So this is just for basically new users using the new version of PrimeHoover's quest script. All right, so we're going to get started. First thing that we need to do is go ahead and go to the forums page, which you'll find at the top of the page all the information on this quest script, his screenshots, and also an old demo video for the older ones, and this is also where you'll find the new one when he uploads that. Okay, so you're gonna get you're actually gonna get the script right here. Okay, and you'll have the old one, and then this one right here is the new one. All right, now you can go ahead and just click on the raw. And this will give you just the text. Copy it, and then you can either go into a text file, or if you already have the information open, then what you can do is actually just take an old plugin that may be around, like this one or something that's already a Java file, and then just copy the file and then replace the contents and rename it. So for instance, if I took, for instance, main, and I copied main into the plugin here, you would create a copy of that. You'd go ahead and open main. Open with, there we go. I use Adobe Dreamweaver. Obviously, you guys may not have that, so it would just open to like a text document type thing. Then you'd replace the inner functions with what you had on the website. So you go ahead and copy that, and go back to your program of choice. Oh, did I close it? It looks like I closed it. Alright, so there you go. Then you save the file as whatever you want to name it. In this case, it has to be named PHQuestBook, and it has to have the underscore. It is important that you name it this way because the engine's going to be looking for the categories and stuff within the script, and it will look for this exact name on the plugin. Okay, so make sure you name it capital P, capital H, underscore quest, capital Q, and then book, capital B. And QuestBook is all one word. This is something that PrimeHoover and I had to work with because I ended up having that same issue where I renamed it whatever I wanted because it normally doesn't matter. Like, for instance, the main menu manager from Yanfly, you could name it, Super Duper Manager, and it wouldn't matter because it actually in game will look at that and know what you're talking about and go to that plugin. But with PrimeHoover's, it's got to be named this way. Alright, so now anybody who basically downloads a demo, all this stuff will be included in the demo, but I'm actually showing you how to build it from the ground up. Okay, so then for the main manager, you're going to go ahead and go to Yanfly's site, which is yanfly.moe. And then once you do that, you just click on plugins. And she's actually got it categorized. So your core plugins, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find the main menu manager. And you're going to go through the same steps to set up the main menu manager as you did the PHQuestBook. All right. So once you've done that, Alright, so we're going to go ahead and drop this. Once you've done that, you have your 2 quest scripts. Okay, so now basically it's just going to be building your world. So this is a preformed world that I went ahead and made, and I'm just going to show it to you so you kind of see what we're looking at. So currently, alright, so you have this world that you can move around in. Okay, now when you select an item, he added a quest to your quest book. Now you can name this whatever you want, quests or whatever. And then this goes into here. Now I'm going to be showing you how to make your custom background and all that kind of stuff. So story quest, Princess's Heart. And there is the information on the actual quest. Okay. So now you're going to follow it over here and you're going to talk to the princess. And she doesn't want you to take her heart, but you're going to anyway. Alright, and you pulled the heart from her chest. Now let's check the quest log, and it has updated. You have taken the heart of the princess. Alright, now we come back and we're going to give it to the evil creature that asked us to do that. Haha, now I've got my reward. Great. Okay, so there you go. It's now switched to completed because you completed that quest. So it's no longer going to show in your quest line. It's going to show in your completed line. And then if you open it up, you'll see right here that the Princess's Heart has been given to the evil creature, and you have your reward, and it tells you what your reward is. It also gives you the information from before, so that if later on in the game, maybe you forgot what you did here, it'll actually tell you what your story steps were one by one by one. Okay. Now, it's important to note, and I'll go ahead and close this out. It's important to note that there is going to be a limitation that I found with how many quest updates you can do within a single quest. However, you can make as many lines of text as you want. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the code here. So this is your plugin manager. This is where you're going to put all your plugins. So you'll see I've already got mine set up. So let's go ahead and start a new project so that you guys can see it from the beginning what we're looking at. Okay, now remember that when you create a new project, it doesn't come with the scripts that you just downloaded. So in your guys' case, you probably already have it set up. Me, I'm going to have to take my scripts and copy them over because I'm dealing with a new program now. Okay. Do this one here. Plugins. And we can go ahead and delete all these other ones. They're just basic plugins that come with the system. Okay. So now we have our 2 plugins in there. Alright. We can drop that. So this is our world right now. And all our world is a giant open grass field. Okay, so we're just going to set something up here. It's going to be a button. Okay. Switch. Okay. Here's a button. Alright, now on this button, we're going to do stuff. Okay. But first, we want to set up our plugins. So you're going to go and double click on this space here, click on the drop down arrow, and there's your PHQuestBook. Okay, click OK. On the one below it, click the arrow, Yanfly MainMenuManager. Okay, and apply. Okay. So you're going to then create, under the little wheels here, a common event. Okay. Now these common events, they have to be programmed a certain way as well. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the other project at the same time we're looking at this one. So I'm going to shrink the screen a little bit here on you as we bring up the other one. Oh, of course, I closed it out. Hold on. PrimeHoover game, and there we go. Alright, so now we have them side by side. You can see the finished version versus the open version that you're creating for yourself. Okay, so basically what this button's going to do is what this little circle did. Okay, it's going to give you the quest. So what we're going to do here, in order to perform a quest option, you have to have basically two things in order for you to see it. Okay. So for the first thing that we're going to do, you're going to create your quest. Okay. This requires that it is named PHQuestBook, and it has to be once again written as such. Okay. So go ahead and I'm going to copy this over, and we're just going to paste that in, and we're going to type in the name PHQuestBook. Alright, so now we have the name exactly as it is over there. Alright, and we have our quest. So you'll notice a couple things that I want to point out. Okay, you see this break on update. This is what tells the system that you are moving on to the next step of the quest. Now, there's a couple things that I've noticed with the break on update. Okay, if you use a single line of text, so in order for you to basically get that really long text that I was telling you about, you just create this comment and you make a really long quest information document. So you could say, you know, whatever you want for as long as you want. Now, once you're done with the first part of the quest and you're telling them basically, go kill 20 goats. Okay, then you do break on update. Okay, now, then you have your next line of code. You monster, you killed 20 goats. What's wrong with you? Did you think I was serious? Okay, then you go ahead and you break on update. That's going to take you to the next part of the quest. And it's going to be, the sheriff has decided that you are no good villain and is going to throw you from the city. Okay, so that's basically how this gets set up. Okay, so if you were to take this break on update and you were to put it on the same line so that you could get like 5 different versions, it doesn't seem to understand the break on update. It wants it as a separate line. So if you put any text after it, or you put any text on it, or you put any text before it, then it doesn't seem to work. So it really does mean that you're going to have to do basically 1 and then break, 2 and then break, and then the completion. Okay, now once this has been done, then that's where you saw that completed in the other game here. Okay, so it went to completed when we turned in the heart to the evil villain. So it will complete that way, but you'll only get the 3 lines. So you have to keep it managed within that 3 lines, or you're going to have to do some extra work. Basically, once you do this, then you could create a second one that's like Princess's Heart Continued. And then you just basically do another 3 steps there. And then you can do the Princess's Heart Continued 2, or whatever. Or you could name it something completely different, and then you could remove the Princess's Heart code. So maybe this is a modified quest. So you get the princess's heart, and then you get the prince's heart, and then you get the king's heart. So you do that, and you basically modify the story and remove princess's heart from the quest book. And all of those options can be found in the help section of your quest book. So it'll tell you right here, PHQuestBook remove, and then the title of the quest. So you remove Princess's Heart. Okay, so this allows you to change things. Now, change category, that's how you're going to tell it to complete a quest. So we'll go ahead and go on from here now. So back to here. Alright, so you've made your quest now. Okay, and there's a couple things in order to show it, and I'll go ahead and show you right now why I'm saying that you have to do some further steps to get it to show in like the main menu manager. So if we were to play this game right now, there's your project 1. Click, and you don't see a quest book anywhere, do you? Alright, so the main menu manager actually requires a couple steps for this to happen. You're going to have to create a common event. Okay, so you create this common event, and that's what you saw over here where I created a common event called QuestBook. The only thing that you're going to put in the quest book is the actual plugin information that you can get, once again, by going to QuestBook here and Help. And you'll see QuestBook Show. Okay, so if you take that and you copy it, close, okay, close, okay, and you go in here to where it shows QuestBook, you double click on the contents and go to number 3 of the Common Event Manager. Down there you'll see the plugin command. Okay, you go ahead and paste your plugin command, which is the PS QuestBook Show, and click OK. That's the only thing that you're going to stick in this. Basically all it is a call command. So that when you open the scene that you're going to do with Yanfly, it has something to open. So it goes, oh, you want to open this item. Okay? So now we've done that, you have to set up the Yanfly portion of this. Now this is going to be something that you're going to have to type exactly, and I'll show you out of this because I don't have it memorized either. Okay? So there's a whole bunch of these menu items that you can store in, and it all has to do with where you want it placed in your menu. So like you have the skill right there at the beginning, and then after that I think is item, equip. And if you scroll down this thing, it's going to give you a whole bunch of different ones. Well, if you stick your new quest book in between, like CC name, this is the class system that they have in Yanfly, and the equip, then it's basically going to go in between equip and the class system. Okay, so that's where we're going to go ahead and open this right here, Yanfly menu, and then I'm going to scroll down until we get to the QuestBook system. Oh, there it was. Okay, so I stuck it just after item. Okay. Alright, so you'll see that the early part of this, not too much work. Okay, the main portion that's going to make this work is menu number 11's main bind. This is what tells the system where to look to open up your menu. If this is incorrect, your menu will not work. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to type it in the same area here for me. Alright, and you can name this whatever you want. So whatever you name here, the quests, that's what's going to be named. So if you do journal, that's what the name of the actual selection is going to be in the menu. So then you do the symbol. That's going to be the PHQuestBook. Show is true because you want it to show in the menu. If you didn't want it to show in the menu, so for instance, if you wanted to turn it off in the middle of the game, then you could actually turn it off in the middle of the game. You just have to basically do a little bit more work to point it that direction. Okay, and enabled is true. So if you didn't want to use this command at all, you could actually disable it from the game itself. Okay, and then this extension is a number that points to the number in the common event menu. So I'll show you that. In your common event menu, you have numbers here. So if you put in the wrong number here, it's going to point it saying, oh, look in common event 2. And it's going to go, oh, common event 2 is this QuestBook thing. Okay, you want me to show QuestBook. Now let's say you put it in 3 instead. It goes, so you want me to do nothing. Okay, I will do nothing. And that's what it's going to do. So you want to make sure that you put it to whatever your common event is located at. Okay? And then your main bind. Now this is what I was telling you. This is important. So we're going to open this back up again. Go back to Yanfly. And go back to number 11. Okay, so you see it here. This is function, and then 2 parentheses, a curly Q bracket, and scene manager dot push, and then inside parentheses scene underscore QuestBook. End parentheses and an end curly Q bracket. Okay, so if you type all that into here, okay, this gives you your menu now. Okay, so apply. So now, if we turn around and play the game, there it is. Journal now appears in your menu in between item and skill. Now, once you enter it, obviously we haven't actually set up any of the quests yet. So it's very dry looking. There's no real content to it. It's just a basic menu at this point. Okay, so now we're going to look at some of the options you have. Okay, so in the QuestBook menu, one of the new things he did with the 2.0 version was allowed you to use a background image. This will spice up your menu a little bit so it doesn't look so much like a menu as it does like whatever you want it to be. And you need to put in the image section of your... So if we go to your project, project 1, and you go to image, okay, you go to pictures. Inside this pictures folder is where you need to have your image that you're going to be using for the background. So whatever image you want to use. So typically, just because this is a demo, I can use any of these backgrounds that I want. So, you know, I can use a sky here. We'll go ahead and use the sky. Copy that. Put it into picture. Paste, and we'll rename it as journal. Now you can call it whatever you want. So if you want to keep it as sky, you could do it that way, because what you're going to do is you're going to type in the name of the image right here. Now this has to be a PNG only, okay? And you type in journal. Okay. So that's going to give us our background. Okay, then these are all icons in the menu, so this is however you want it to show. So name in the menu, QuestBook, you can change that. Now see, you're using Yanfly's main menu manager, you ignore this because it's going to use something else. This is like if you were to load up the game in the main menu. I never really liked this system, and that's why I always use Yanfly, because I can actually move it wherever I want throughout the menu. It allows me to modify the menu a little bit more. Okay. So the category icons are where you're going to have like your main, so if you were to do, for instance, this comes standard with primary, secondary, completed, and finished. You can make as many categories as you want, and you can call them whatever you want. So like in my game, I did story quest, side quest, completed, and failed. Okay. Your icons are going to be what shows up like that dome-looking sphere that I had. So we'll just show you real quick. So there you have it. That is the storyline quest. This is for the Princess of Heart, and that's set up within your quest script. So these are all editable icons, and then there's a background that I chose for this one. Okay. Alright, so those icons can be selected here. This is in the order of the category. So 312 goes to primary, 311 goes to secondary, 310 goes to completed, 309 goes to failed. Okay, and alright, these are your default settings. So if you have a quest that does not have a category, let's say that you don't really have it as a side quest, but it's not really, it's more of a hunt quest, and you don't have a lot of those. But you didn't want to go through and set up all of this again. I don't know why you wouldn't, but yeah. So this would be the default information. So the hunt quest would be put into the default because it doesn't have a category. You can name the default whatever you want. So you can call this the category. Okay? This will be the icon of the category. Notice it's the same one as your primary. You can change that. And then obviously no quest available. You can actually go ahead and change that as well. So the default, get to work. Alright. So this is that title that you saw over it, and it said My Quest Book. Very bland, very boring. Call it whatever you want, Lord of Power. Okay. So this will appear in your menu. Now this is the color. This has to do with the RMMV color code. For those of you that don't know, just really quick, if you go to System and you go to your window here, obviously I use Adobe everything. These are your colors, and they're actually numbered accordingly. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 all the way up. So if you want to use a specific color in this scheme, you would count the color number. So 0 is white, so it's going to appear white in the menu. If you wanted it purple, you would have to actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, 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 until you got to the number of whatever color you wanted. Okay. So just to show you the color shift, we saw the white already. Okay, we'll go ahead and make this a 1, and that will turn it blue. Okay. Okay, so now that's been done, let's take a look. So now we got our sky background, and it says get to work, and it has Lord of Power in blue. So you can see it's already being customized. Okay. So there's no actual quest. So it just says get to work, doesn't allow you to select anything. Still needs work here. All right. So now we've come up with our system, and we've got it working in the game. We have our common events. We have our story system. So remember that unlike the older version, this is for the new version. It has to be typed in the quest name, the category, and then the icon that you wish to use. Okay. This does allow for text-generated color swapping and stuff like that. So over here you'll see like I've got my reward, which is reward, and then colon, and then whatever you want the reward to be, gold or experience or an item. And then the /C and then in brackets the number, that's actually the color of your reward so that it stands out from your text. Okay? So all of this right here needs to be called upon in the game in order for it to work. Okay, so once again we're going to load this up. So right here, okay, so right here I have a whole bunch of like Quest 2, Quest 1. These are actual switches that I created. These are temporary switches that you can turn on and off accordingly as needed. So right here you see it actually calls to update the PH QuestBook, update Princess's Heart. That's how it jumps to the next section. When it completes, it says QuestBook change Princess Heart complete. That's so that it's moved from your quest into the completed quest section. So if you don't want a completed quest section, you just want to keep it in the main quest line. The issue with that is that if you have a 200 quest line thing, people are going to get kind of annoyed having to scroll through quests they already completed. So move it to the completed section, and at that point, if a player wants to go back and look at it, they can go to the completed section and scroll through them. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this. Okay. Alright, so you'll see here, obviously it says if number 2 is on, number 1 is on. This is because in here I actually set this up. In here, it doesn't exist. So you have to go in here, and if you wanted to customize yours, you just type in Quest 1 switch. And then you can do the next one, Quest 2 switch. Okay. You could also do Q1 switch or Q2 switch or just Q1, Q2, whatever you want to name it, you can name it. Alright, and then once you do that, then it says right here, Quest 2 switch is on, Quest 1 switch is on. So it's easier to understand what's on and what's off. And you can turn these on and off, and you will need to turn these on and off when you have more than a single event doing quests and stuff like that. So honestly, you'll probably have about, I'd say, 10 to 20 of these in your switch system. Just because if you're in a major city or something, you're going to have multiple quests all running at the same time. And you don't want to put multiple quests on Quest 1 because then you're turning quests on and off that they may not have done yet. Okay, so once the quest is done and you've moved on past the Quest Switch 1, you should always turn off Quest Switch 1 to Quest Switch 2 so you can reuse those later on. Okay, so now that we've done this and we've changed the gold and everything like that, so let's go through kind of how this is set up and why it's set up this way. Okay, so this is known as a conditional branch. If you actually double click number 1, conditional branch, this will, so like I did quest switch 1 or 2 or whatever. So once you set this up, you can create an else branch, and you do want to create that. Okay, and what happens is you get if quest 2 is on. So if they have done such an event and you switched on the quest, then read this script and update QuestBook as such. Change the player's gold and erase the event. Okay, else if they've not had this quest switch turned on, you have quest 1 switches on. So you create another conditional branch. And you can do this over and over. Keep in mind the deeper this goes, the more things are running, especially if you're running parallels and stuff. It's going to eat up resources, so it's going to make your game go slower. So be careful on what you're doing here. Alright, and if quest switch 1 is on, then it tells him this. Else, if there's no quest switch on, that means that he's never accepted the quest. So instead, it takes him through the beginning part, which is a voice whispers from the great beyond, just like when we went to talk to him the first time. Okay, and then he goes and adds the quest to your book. You update the book by adding it to the book. So remember, the first time you do it, you add the quest. You don't update the quest. Okay, and then you do the control switch here. Okay, so now that the control switch 1 is on, if the player goes back to this quest, okay, then it will give him this information. Okay, so now in order for you to complete the quest, you have to have the princess. So that would be this lady right over here. Okay, our princess. We're just going to paste her right in there. So in here, you're going to do the same event questing where you go to New, set up a conditional branch. Okay. If quest 1 switches on, then do this. Update the princess's heart and turn it over to quest 2. Okay. So this is where you're going to want to turn off quest 1 because they're already on the switch of quest 2. So this is where, for good coding purposes, you want to kind of get in the habit of doing this. So control switches, quest switch 1 is off. Okay. So now that quest switch 2 is on, quest switch 1 is off. Okay, and then if that does not, if they do not have quest 1, so let's say the player just walked over and started talking to her, then this is what she says. Family is everything to me. Isn't it a beautiful day? Okay, so once that's been applied, then what happens is quest switch 2. You turn on this switch, and the way you get this page is up here, new event page. If you click that, puts in a new event page without creating a whole new event, so that the event can be continually manipulated. Okay, delete event page will get rid of that. So now we're trying to tell it that if quest switch 2 is on, then run this. And then it asks for, if quest switch 2 is on, talk to him about this. And that's it. That's all it is. It's done. Okay, so now we have our quest giver, we have our quest midpoint, and then our quest receiver. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and start it, save it, and see what we got. So here we got our grassy field, and if we look in here, journal, get to work, alert of power, blue sky, nothing's changed. Okay, go in here. Look back in our journal. Okay, duh, princess apart. Okay, and there's our information. Okay. Now it's updated. You have taken the heart of the princess, you evil creature. Okay. Talk to her again. The princess's heart has been pulled from her chest. So it's already understood that it is no longer there. Okay. Go back. Oh, you press the switch and you gave him the heart. Okay. If you go into the journal, there it is, completed. Princess's heart. And there's all the information on the Lord of Power's Princess's Heart quest line. Okay. Now, like I said, remember that when you do this, that everything needs to kind of close out. So the reason for this is, like I said, in the future when you're doing multiple quests, it's not so big of a deal right now because obviously you're only doing one quest, but later on, if you do that, then quests won't work right. They're going to end up like, oh, this guy's halfway through a quest he never started. Okay, so always make sure that when you complete this, then you go ahead and let's put in a new one, control switches, switch 2 now, and then you go OK, and you click off. By turning that off, you now can use quest 1 and 2 switches again for a new quest. Alright, I would suggest that you make these very carefully. If you do them within the same city, it's more likely that they're going to end up with quests that kind of overlap each other, and that's going to be a problem. Also, long quests, extremely long quests. People may not turn quests in right away and stuff, so you're probably going to want to do a check system so that it does not actually have an item in their inventory. So it'll say, instead of just quest 2, it'll say like, if player has chicken heart, then do this. And then you'd say if quest 2 switch is. That way what would happen is that if they have that chicken heart, then that chicken heart tells the system that they are on this quest. But that's neither here nor there. So remember, you need to set all this up properly. So like you saw that it said duh. Remember, I have mine as story quest. We never set that up as story quest. We set it up as primary, and so it came up duh instead of story quest. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I know this was a rather long demo explanation, but I want to make sure that you could set your project up from scratch the way you needed to, not just look at mine and try to figure out what I did and how I copied and all that kind of stuff. So if you like the video, please like it, and any comments that you have, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section. And thank you for watching.